Hi everyone, Dan back again. Today I'm going to do some exercises that are just going to be upper body focused. Simple exercises, but hopefully effective for everyone. Just using a household item. Today the item that I'm just going to focus with is going to be a towel or two. So now we'll go through the exercises. Alright, first two exercises I'm going to do is going to be a shoulder press or a shoulder press motion and a row exercise just using the towel. Okay. The size of the towel I would suggest is get one that you're able to keep a decent amount of length, not too massive because remember we do have to try and grip the towel. Okay. From there, what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the shoulder press. Now this is not a press per se because the force of the shoulder press needs to be you bearing weight pressing upwards against it. But what we're doing here is with the towel is we're going to maintain the tension so we can feel more activation through the muscles that are similarly used through the shoulder press. Taking the towel. If you want to just roll it up, that's fine. If not, as long as you've got a good grip on it, okay? And enough that you can pull it. So imagine you're pulling the towel apart. Still set up like in the previous videos I've shown you with the shoulder press. Again, wrist in line with elbows. Use the towel as a means to roughly measure across your collarbone. Wrist is in line with elbows, okay? While I'm on my knees, I'm going to squeeze my glutes. This helps with the lower back stabilization. I'm going to pull the towel apart. Now, as soon as you start doing this, you should automatically feel activation of your muscles. Now, from there, maintaining that pulling apart, what you're going to do from there is you're going to press up above you, feeling the muscles work, and then what you're going to do from here is then return back down, still pulling the towel apart. From there, hold here for roughly 2-3 seconds, okay, and then press again. The idea really is what we're aiming for is not the physical repetitions, but the amount of tension we're placing on the muscles. So we go up, and then coming back down, starting at the collarbone. This is our start and end position. Again, maintaining the tension. Again, always trying to pull the towel apart, like so. Now, when you've done the repetitions for that exercise, still using the same towel if you want, or you can change. Taking the towel, this time what we're going to do, staying sideways, a row exercise, okay? Now, if you've got a bad back or anything like that, make sure you can do it in a supported manner. If you can't do it, you can do it lying down, okay? But for now, what we're going to do here is the tip forward. So what you're going to do is relax your knees, let your knees relax. Okay, don't completely bend down, just slightly relax. From here, again with the motion of the squats, if you've seen the other video, we're going to tilt the hip out and we're going to push backwards, similar to the deadlift. Now here, tip forward enough that you can feel that you're stable. Okay, so don't drop your weight back and forth. Taking the towel, again, pulling it apart. So we're trying to really pull apart the towel. In that position, again, you should feel, honestly, your back kick in. For some people, even just holding this for a few seconds could be enough. Alright? From there, as you're pulling it apart, you're going to draw the towel towards you. Ideally, aim it towards where your belly button is. So maintain that tension for roughly 2, 3, 4 seconds, whichever you want, and then come back down. Again, this is not about going like this with this exercise. Tension. The reason for it is that the constant tension makes your muscles work throughout this movement, and this is where the fatigue will come in. So as you're pulling the towel apart, draw it in, and then back. Another way to think about drawing it in is let your elbows bend. So bend your elbows in. You should also feel your shoulder blades slightly squeeze in, and then we return back. Keeping the tension, hold, and then back down. When you're finished, stand straight first, and then relax. Alright? First two exercises of the program I've given you. See how you go with that. Main thing is keep constant tension. That's the key. Alright, one exercise I'm going to show now is going to be more of a bodyweight exercise. You can use something like bands, for example. I wouldn't go using a resistance in a way of sticking a can of food or something on your back as we do it, okay? It's a push-up. Now, if you can't do the push-ups, guys, don't worry. Even if you just do that shoulder press exercise that I showed you before, that's still good enough, all right? This is for those who, one, want a bit more of a workout, but also want to feel that sort of, I suppose, that chest feeling or a bit more fatiguing in the triceps there, okay? I'm going to show you two ways. I'll show you the way on your knees first, which is for those who are either just starting out or you want to practice the movement. And then I'll show you a couple of reps on the with your toes, all right? Movement's roughly the same, but the intention and the angle will be a little bit different, okay? Intensity. Now, If you're going to do it on your knees, the first thing I sort of set out is, when you go to set up, lying down on the ground first. We want our chest to be roughly in line, sorry, our arms to be in line with our chest. So, if I'm on the floor, I'm like so. From here, I find my position, good. Now, don't tuck in, so don't squeeze the hands in. Find where you feel natural, where you feel okay with your shoulders, okay with the hands, all right? So now we've got our spot. If you're going to do it on your knees, what you're going to do from here is bring yourself up, okay? So you're in this sort of position with the knees. You still want to feel that you're leaning forward slightly. So we're not sitting back like this, because what we want to avoid is this. This is not pushing up, okay? I'm sorry, no matter how many people think it is, it's not. That is not how we do it. It puts a lot of emphasis on your shoulders. So in that regard, okay, but it's not what we're after with this exercise. So we lean forward, okay? Adjust yourself if you need to. Hands. Ideally, you want to imagine your wrist, elbow, shoulders is sort of like in one line. So arms are not forward in front of you, and they're not far back behind you, so you're like this. So, find your little spot. Now, from here, slightly lean forward. What I'm going to do from here is, I'm going to try and squeeze my legs as much as I can, quads and glutes, the whole lot. Then from there, as you go to descend, don't go straight down. Imagine you're tipping forward, so we're sort of falling forward slightly, and then we return back up. So, notice that I come forward, and then back up. That's how we want to move up and down. Making sure the glutes are squeezed, and then press up. Some people might come down to a 9-degree bend, and then press up. Either way is fine, okay, whatever works the most for you, alright? Now, when you do that, come all the way up to the top. Even if you slightly round your shoulders up the top, that's okay. When you come down, you're going to feel that your shoulders slightly squeeze in. That's okay too. So squeeze in, pressing up. So you do that for your repetitions, okay? It's a good way to start up the push-ups, but it's a good way to practice the technique. Even if you don't do the full repetitions, that's okay. Just do a couple of reps, and that's fine. As long as you can feel muscles are working. Right? Now on the toes, exactly the same setup, exactly the same format. The only difference is being on the toes. It's harder because your linchpin, I think is the word, fulcrum, one of those two, is in a different spot because they move from the knees to the toes. I'm sure your physics people will tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Cool. So again, same thing. I'm lying down, my hands in line with my chest. Now when I go to push up, I'm going to bring myself up to my toes this time. If you want to go from your knees to your toes, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, the same rules apply. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quads, falling forward as you go to do the exercise. So, from here, bring myself up, got my squeeze quads, glutes, coming down, press. Okay? So that's if you want to do the push-up from the toes. Okay, an exercise that I like to pair up with the push-up exercise that I've just shown you is a lateral raise or a shoulder raise, as some people might know. Okay, just for this exercise, I'm going to use a band. You can use other items at home, okay? But just to demonstrate the exercise, I just want to use a band for it, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do one arm at a time. At home, if you want to do both, that's fine. Obviously, weights in each hand. If you do have a band and you can't do it both, then again, we're just going to do it this way across, okay? So, I'll put the band on my opposite foot, and I'm holding it with my right arm. From there, what I'm going to do is allow enough, I suppose from here, it's going to be a little more relaxed. If I want more tension, I'm just going to tighten up the band a bit more, okay? Now, as long as you've got a good grip, what you're going to do from here is, if you're standing, make sure you're stable, okay? You're going to slightly lean forward, okay? So, and what I mean by that is not complete tip forward like we were doing before, just a very lean forward, almost like you'll feel like you're shifting your weight a little bit over you, but you can still balance with your feet, okay? So chest tips forward a little bit, but you can still feel that all your feet are still to the floor, okay? If you find your weight is shifting, you've gone too far. So feet to the floor, slightly lean forward, okay? The reason being is that there's more interaction, or it's a better movement through the muscle with that slight lean forward of the lateral raise, as opposed to a vertically try to stand straight up as possible. Okay. So just so you know, from here, sit up. Okay. I slightly lean myself forward. Now, if I had the two, I would be going with both arms outwards. If not, one at a time. If you're going to do one at a time, maintain, again, this side as stable as possible. Don't be leaning back or leaning into it, okay? The idea is to really isolate this and come up as much as you can. So as I slowly lean forward, okay? From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that I'm trying to also push my arm to the ground as much as I can without dropping my shoulder. So I'm pulling it down. Now, as I keep pushing it down to the ground, I then slowly imagine as if I'm trying to brush the floor and outwards up with my arm. So, push it down, then from there, keep going, keep dragging it, bringing it up, hold for a few seconds, roughly 3, and then return back down, okay? Again, imagine you're trying to brush along the floor, all the way up, and then back down again, okay? Brushing along the floor, all the way up, and back down again. Now you can do this exercise seated, okay? So you can sit down and do this. Again, make sure you haven't got arms on your chairs or anything like that. But you can slowly lean forward. But again, if you are in a chair, don't be completely like this. You are still doing something that's more of a rear delt exercise, which you can do if you want, by all means. The more you lean forward, the more you can sort of get into the back of the shoulder, okay? But for the moment, we're just working on the lateral, all right? The reason we're doing the lateral is that the row exercise we just did, with the tension here, helps with the rear delt, okay? The pressing is working the anterior, or basically the front, and now we're just working through the middle of the shoulder, given that we've got 3 muscles, three muscles in our shoulders there, or just in this part, okay? I'm sure other trainers out there are like, well, there's more. It's like, yes, I know. All right, so again, if I'm doing that, so remember, brush up, hold for a few seconds, and then back down. If you're going to do a single arm, do repetitions in a row with one arm, and then change to the other side, okay? Don't go 1, and then 1, and then 1. It's too much rest in between, okay? And it'll give you a false indication of your progress. Unless you've got actual injuries or you're doing rehabilitation, I wouldn't do that, just so you can get a bit more out of the workout, okay? That's with the band, all right? But you can use other household items that I'm going to talk about in a moment. Okay, so we've done 4 exercises. I'm going to grab a different towel now for this one. Okay, it's a little bit longer and you'll see why. We're going to just do a couple of arm exercises. Again, the focus is to create tension within the muscle area. Okay. The reason I got the longer towel is when we do our tricep exercise, you'll see that we want that length to extend the arms. This one I'm going to hop down on the knees. Okay. Now, you can do this one arm at a time if you want with the triceps, or you can do both. What you're going to do here, pop the towel down. Now, ideally in a position that you can somewhat bring the towel up like this behind you, okay? So, what we're going to do from here is when we hold the towel, make sure you've got a good grip. If it helps, squeeze your glutes so you're stable. Your elbows, as you can see, are bent in a way of that the hands are falling behind your head. And from here, what we're going to try and aim to do is extend the arms up above your head, as if you're raising your arms up. Now, if we don't completely get there, that's okay. Alright, it's not the end of the world. The main thing is to create tension throughout this area of the arms is what we're after. Okay? They're going to be a little bit fatigued as well from the push-ups. Okay, so this is why we're doing this kind of exercise after doing an exercise like a push-up or a shoulder press. Okay? Towel on the floor, good length. Now, I'm gripping with both hands. If you want, you can widen it out as well. So widen out the towel. From there, as long as you've got a good grip, hands over. From there, don't bring the elbows forward. We're not trying to do this. We just want to extend the arms. So from there, maintaining it, and then try and yank upwards and feel tension throughout the arms. Okay? If you find that the towel is slipping, you might need to readjust or a longer towel, but hold roughly 5, maybe 10 seconds, and then relax down in a controlled manner. Then again, tense glutes, okay? Chest up, bring the tension and pull upwards, okay? And you're pulling through and keep pulling through as if you're trying to get those arms to the roof and feel the tension through your triceps. And then back down again, okay? When we're finished, again, just relax off. That's that exercise. The other one is with the arms in ways of a bicep curl, okay? Again, this one can range your motion, I guess, depending on your towel. I've seen some people online do it this way, where I'm just going to grab another towel or a tea cloth. If you are going to use a tea cloth or any of these towels at home, make sure they're not ripped, because the last thing you want to do is just rip open your cloth. I've seen some people do it online this way, where they've taken the tension and they're pulling it apart here and they're holding the arms here. And then what they're doing is through that tension they bring it up and then control down. Now, you could do that, okay? I don't have a problem with it if that's how you feel you want to do it, provided that you're pulling the rag or whatever piece of material you have apart, okay? And as long as you can feel your bicep contract as you do it, that's the main thing. So the muscle we're after this time is roughly here, okay? With that though, I personally like the idea of the bicep is meant to have force coming from the ground. So in other words, force is going that way, you're going against it. So if you want to, grabbing another towel, again, one that you can grip, popping it down, you can do it two ways. You can do it on your knees, okay, holding like so. Now, if you want to do two and you've got two of the same towel, go for it, because then that way you can do both arms. If you want to do one arm, that's okay. When you do it with one arm, try to avoid leaning into it, okay, so you're not like that. Elbow to the side of the body, okay, glutes are squeezed. From there, I'm gripping my towel, okay. What I'm going to do from here is if I want to make sure I've got maximum amount of tension, you might need to play around with the length, okay, until you get a spot where you're like, okay, that's when I'm slightly relaxed, but from here on in, I'm creating tension upwards. And depending on where you want to really feel it, okay, determines on how far you bring the towel up until the tension comes in on the bicep. You get really relaxed like this and really have tension more at the top, or you get more tension down the bottom of the movement, provided that there's not too much pressure through your elbow joint. The key thing is, again, make sure this is where you're feeling the majority of the squeeze. Now, what you'll do from here is you'll start, you'll hold down, glute squeeze and everything, then from there, pulling the towel upwards, keeping the elbow as much to the side of the body without it flaring forward. So in other words, we don't want backwards, and we don't want your elbow to go like so, because it means that we're cheating here with the shoulder, okay? Hold here, and pulling upwards. Feel that tension. Now, given the way that the bicep is, more of an explosive style muscle, let's say. So from there, you might want to hold it in a big burst, and then relax. Give it a few seconds. Grip, set up, and begin to pull. And again, holding that squeeze, feel that muscle. If you want to do one arm, that way you can feel with the other arm go, yep, I've got what I'm doing. Keep going, and then relax. Okay, so we've just done some upper body exercises. We're going to do a core exercise now, just the one, alright, for the time being. You've probably seen it all everywhere, and it's a very common one, prone hold or a plank, some people might call it. Okay. Again, the reason why I'm just demonstrating this one is again just to work on activation, so you're aware of your midsection. Okay. It's not to be an end all of a core exercise, however, it is a handy start, particularly if you haven't done much in a while. The way we're going to do it today, I'm going to show you again similar to the push-up that I just showed you on the knees, and then I'm going to show you on the feet as well. Okay. So we'll go through that now. If I'm going to do it on the knees, again, so pop down on the ground. You're going to set up pretty much exactly the same way as I showed you how to set up for a push-up. Hands in line with chest and lying on the floor. Now with this, what's going to happen though, instead of our hands pressing upwards for this first exercise on the knees, we're going to use the elbows. Okay? So we're going to lie ourselves down, line ourselves up, okay, hands there. Now from there, I'm just going to bring my elbows now in line with the chest. In terms of spacing, as long as it's roughly shoulder distance, hands to the ground if you can. And I've seen some people that just make a closed fist, that's okay too. When we go do this, what we're going to do again is similar to starting the push-up on our knees, but also we want to avoid the same thing. We're not dropping back, okay? So we're not here trying to hold this exercise. We want to feel tension through here, okay? So for some people, what will happen is you'll bring yourself up and you may not feel anything straight away. It may need that slight adjustment. Commonly, from what I've noticed with some gym goers that I've seen in the past, most often than not, it's the fact that they sit back, okay? And I get it. Pain sucks, okay? That's why it's pain. However, you can still do it by creating tension, but if it's too much too quickly, then we do it in bursts, okay? So, set myself up, bring myself up on my knees. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to bring myself forward enough that I don't drop my hips down, okay? But I'm not sitting up like this. This is also not the way to do it, okay? I don't care what any of you say. So, I bring myself forward enough that I can feel the tension start in my midsection. You can slightly round your shoulders, it's okay, all right? Because in some ways what we're doing here is we're pushing the elbows into the ground. So we want to keep pressing and holding. And then from there it's a matter of just holding that tension, trying to relax your breathing as much as you can. Ideally with your head, don't be like this, don't be like that. Imagine you're pulling your head back and then you tuck your chin in. So it's more of a neutral spine position. Once that's whatever time frame, completely relax down. And then if you're going for burst rounds, like 20 seconds rest and so forth, then do your allocated rest and then go again for the allotted time frame, okay? With on your toes, exactly the same thing. We don't want to be all the way up like so, I'm not doing this, okay? And also not too far forward that you can't hold anything and you collapse down. We also don't want this happening, okay? So on the toes, set up in a way that you can still maintain that sort of feeling through, like a straight feeling. From there, again, you're allowed to have round the shoulders slightly, and again, neutral spine with your head. And then we hold for whatever the allocated time is. Okay? That's if you're going to do it on your toes. Much more advanced on the toes, no need to rush. In some ways, like I said, we're going for activation. So, if at the moment doing your knees still creates activation, it's enough for what you need, just keep doing that. Until it's like mega easy for you, then advance it. Maybe try on your toes. But don't go straight away to that, otherwise it'll freak you out. Okay? So see how you go with that. Later on we'll do other exercises that involve a bit more core work, but for now, that should hopefully be a very good start for you. Okay guys, I've got a couple of household items here. The ones I've got here at the moment literally are, I've got a 2-litre bottle of milk, empty of course, and I've got 1 litre long life. Long life is handy because if you're exercising with fresh milk and just your exercise goes for a while, you don't want your milk to go off. The reason that I just picked these two, okay, I just find that they're a little more versatile from a household item. You can use food cans and everything like that, that's fine. It's just that normally the food cans, everything will come in like 500 grams, maybe a little bit less, or they might be really wide. It's okay if you can grip with a really wide grip because it does change the way the muscles work. Okay. Again, the reason for these is one, the long life container itself, once it's empty of milk, or you can leave milk in, it's up to you. Full cream, of course, don't get light milk because that's just too easy. You can fill it up with something, so you can fill it up with sand, you can fill it up with dirt, you can fill it up with rocks if you've got like little rocks that you can fill it up in. But if you're going to do that, the best one is the 2 litre. Okay. The other benefit of using something like a 2 litre for milk jug is you hold it one way, the weight is distributed in another spot. So if you don't fill up, just say you fill halfway, holding it there will change the way the exercise happens because the weight's in a different position. If you then say tip it upside down, what will happen is the weight's here, so it's more centralised. So again, it's a different feeling of the exercise as well. So even though you're doing a bicep curl, by changing the weight, okay, can interact differently with your muscle. The one thing though I'd say is try not to fill it up with a liquid again, only because like when it's in a full, if it's fully, like a full liquid and it's filled, then that's fine. Don't sort of fill it up with water or something else in a waste of the liquid, only because it's not wrong, it's just that when you're moving and the liquid is moving around, yes, it changes the weight. Some people might say, well, isn't that good, isn't it? It's, yes, for rehab, yes. But from a strength point of view, if you want to build strength, or if you want to feel that you've got more interaction through your muscles as you're exercising, you want stability. So from there, the more solid mass that you put in, or basically anything that just gives much less movement in here, the better. Because that way you've got more interaction in muscle as you work through it, okay? On that though, make sure one, you've got a lid, alright? And make sure it's not a screw on lid and stuff like that. You don't have to stick to just the milk cartons, I'll just grab these as an example. However, as long as you've got something that you can grip pretty well, okay? Not something flimsy that's you're just barely hanging on. You want to make sure you've got good, strong grip, okay? For safety, as well as a better workout, okay? So, there's some ideas there. On that though, at the same time, if you find that you can use anything else, go for it. See how you go with it. Let me know how you go with it. With that, hopefully it gives you some other ideas to try out at home. It's not limited to just these exercises. You can try others. There is other videos out there if you want to check out that some people have different ideas and different designs. On that also, if you have bands, by all means, resistance bands are always going to be good as well. Alright? If not, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.